My niece, convinced her degree was worthless, insisted on dropping out of college to join a streaming group. As a veteran operations manager, I had advised her against this path, insisting that university was a better choice. Later, after my niece graduated from a mediocre university, she struggled to find a job and failed repeatedly at blind dates. Meanwhile, her best friend, Ava, became a streamer, met a wealthy man, and lived a luxurious life. My sister-in-law and niece were furious, claiming I had advised her to go to college because I didn't want them to succeed. During a family hiking trip, those two personally pushed me off a cliff. After my death, my parents, heartbroken with grief, also passed away quickly. My sister-in-law seized my life savings for herself. The moment I opened my eyes, I found myself back on the day my niece demanded to drop out of school to become a streamer. This time, I didn't object. I simply smiled. She's grown up now. What good would college do if she doesn't want it? How much money are your friends earning from streaming? The moment I opened my eyes, I heard my niece complaining. Today was the day her college acceptance letter arrived. She had been accepted into a university, and neighbors were pouring in with congratulations. Mid-conversation, Mrs. Peterson, our neighbor, suddenly brought up her granddaughter, Ava. Her tone was unmistakably boastful. Those two used to play together every day when they were little. My girl wasn't good at studying, didn't amount to much. What's she doing, running off to join a streaming group, and earning tens of thousands a month is just decent? Hearing these words, I once again saw the astonishment and envy on my sister-in-law's and niece's faces. As soon as we saw the neighbors off and closed the door, my niece's expression changed. I told you we should have started streaming earlier. What does she have in terms of looks or studies that I don't? Yet she's earning tens of thousands a month. My sister-in-law was somewhat skeptical, but then, recalling the neighbor's recently renovated house, she hesitated. I was wondering why Mrs. Peterson suddenly decided to spend so much renovating her bathroom. So she's got money now. She kept it quiet. Oh, my daughter, you're much prettier than her. Why don't you give it a try too? My niece, smugly, began to daydream. With my looks, I'll surely attract more wealthy men than Ava. In my previous life, I would have lectured her endlessly about studying hard. Streaming isn't just grueling. It's rife with predators who exploit inexperienced newcomers. In my past life, it took 2 months of my relentless persuasion before my niece reluctantly enrolled in college. Who knew that after graduating and failing to find a job, she would blame me for everything? My sister-in-law not only didn't stop her but added fuel to the fire, claiming I was jealous of my niece's youth, beauty, and social graces, which was why I prevented her from becoming a streamer. Even my own brother advised me not to be so envious. I had to scramble everywhere to find my niece a job, but she deemed every offer beneath her. She then tricked me into going hiking with her, only to join my sister-in-law in pushing me off the cliff. My own brother, witnessing this, falsely claimed I had slipped and fallen, then collaborated with them to divide my inheritance, leaving my parents heartbroken. Overwhelmed with grief, both of them soon followed me to the grave. The excruciating pain of ruptured organs still lingered, but the whirring sound of a fan pulled me back to reality. My niece was complaining, "What's the point of college? So many graduates are jobless, aren't they? Some of my classmates already dropped out early to become streamers." My brother still seemed hesitant. "Who says that? What good is it not to study? Look at your aunt. She graduated and immediately joined a big company." My sister-in-law, however, scoffed. "No matter how good the school, you still end up working for someone else. How much do you earn? Look at what she's wearing. She's practically destitute." Immediately after, she remembered my involvement in the live streaming industry and suddenly became cordial. "Oh, dear aunt, don't you have connections? Introduce her to a big streaming agency." I smiled apologetically. "My company is too small. It can't accommodate a big Buddha like her." My sister-in-law flared up. "What do you mean by that? We're family. You can't even help with such a small matter. When my daughter becomes famous, let's see if she still acknowledges an unconscionable aunt like you." My niece didn't even bother to enroll in college, gleefully posting on her social media, "I'm about to join the professional streaming world." My parents, upon hearing this, advised my brother to make her enroll quickly, seeing it as a backup plan. But my brother had been swayed by my sister-in-law and niece. Especially after seeing their posts boasting about earnings on Zio Hongshu, he grew even more dismissive. "What good are high degrees? Do they make you a lot of money? My sister has no ambition compared to my daughter, no foresight at all." The three of them began to fantasize about becoming famous overnight, with money pouring in like water. Not only that, my sister-in-law frequently came to me, alternately coaxing and pressuring me to help them pull strings. "You've been working for so many years, you must know many streaming platform owners, right? Hurry, introduce my niece." I told her honestly, "The streaming industry has many facets. My company focuses on live e-commerce. Group streaming is a deep, murky water. It's easy to get scammed." My sister-in-law wouldn't have it. "Why are you talking so much? Aren't you just trying to avoid helping?" My niece, too, looked scornful. "After all these years, you don't even know anyone who can get me a contract with a company? You've truly lived a useless life." In my previous life, I might have retorted angrily with harsh words, but now I just offered an awkward smile. "My abilities are limited," I said. "I don't have good looks like my niece. I can only work as an operations manager, slaving away for my boss." My sister-in-law scoffed, turning away from me to my niece with a smug look. "Of course, our precious daughter has the makings of a big star." My sister-in-law had always been like this, spoiling my niece since childhood. In my previous life, when my niece was in college, she joined the student union's external relations committee. She claimed she had to find sponsors, or she'd be expelled. She couldn't do it. My sister-in-law angrily stormed the school, yelling obscenities, accusing the school of corruption, and claiming that students who met their sponsorship targets were prostituting themselves. I had to drag her away, apologize to the school, and then pay out of my own pocket to help my niece secure the sponsorships, just to prevent her from being disciplined. But afterward, both my sister-in-law and niece still blamed me, saying I hadn't given enough, which embarrassed her in front of her friends. Now, hearing my sister-in-law's taunts, I decided to play it safe. "My company deals with sales," I said. "I'm genuinely not familiar with the group streaming industry. How about my niece comes to try sales? The basic salary is only $3,000, but there's room for growth later." "A measly job for $3,000? Who would bother?" My niece shrieked, cutting me off. My sister-in-law also berated me. "You're a college graduate, yet you can't even help her find a job. My daughter isn't wrong." "Studying truly is useless." I smiled apologetically. "The three of them combined don't even have one college degree. Their future is truly bright." My sister-in-law immediately snatched my rice bowl and told me to get out and find a job. My sister-in-law and niece went around introducing themselves on various platforms. Upon hearing the news, many colleagues messaged me. "Lily is your niece? What's going on? She curses people if they don't sign a contract. Hey, can you tell them to stop reporting others? Your niece is quite something." Seeing the messages, my heart sank. Only after asking around did I understand. My sister-in-law had taken my niece, using my name, to contact various streaming agencies. If they didn't sign a contract, they would verbally abuse them, accuse them of having no discernment, and even report the agencies. Fortunately, when they had previously asked me which streaming agencies I had worked with, I was cautious. I only mentioned a few places with good relationships and had already warned them, even teaching them how to demand compensation, with half of the money received going to me. Predictably, my sister-in-law, only knowing how to be unreasonable and ignorant of the law, quickly got scared when faced with tougher people. She obediently handed over the money. Watching the $50,000 fall from the sky, I consoled her over the phone. "They didn't sign because they lack vision. Someone will eventually recognize my niece's talents." My sister-in-law, simultaneously cursing me as useless and doting on her daughter, was so furious. "My daughter is about to run away from home." "These damn bastards," my niece aggressively declared. "Auntie, quickly find me a streaming agency or I'll run away from home." I gave some perfunctory advice, then used overtime as an excuse to hang up. Running away was my niece's usual trick. Whenever something didn't go her way, she'd immediately threaten to leave. The most dramatic instance was during her third year of college. The university couldn't reach her and called home. The whole family panicked. I was at a crucial stage for a promotion but had to take leave and search for her for half a month, fearing she'd been kidnapped or scammed. When I finally found her, she was on vacation with her boyfriend in a neighboring country. Moved, I embraced her tightly, but she pushed me away in disgust. "Auntie, this coconut water costs 30 yuan. Can you afford to replace it?" After 2 weeks of my explanations, the university finally agreed not to expel my niece, allowing her to continue her studies normally. However, my chance for a promotion was gone. My boss, who once valued me, began to deliberately distance himself. Not only that, when I returned home on the weekend, my sister-in-law, upon hearing the news, not only didn't thank me for finding her daughter, but criticized me for being immature. You were too impulsive. Our girl's boyfriend is from a genuinely rich family. You showing up ruined everything. At that moment, my heart plummeted to the bottom of a well. Even in the scorching summer heat, I felt a chill run through my entire body. Now seeing the flood of threatening messages from my niece, I blocked all her contact methods. Running away? What does that have to do with me? My niece still ran away, but I had blocked all contact from the three of them. I heard that afterward she was found. An online sugar daddy had promised to help her with group streaming. She ran off to a neighboring city, got scammed out of some money, and cried so much that the whole family was in turmoil. When I came home that weekend, she pointed at my face and cursed, "If you hadn't ignored me, would I have ended up like this?" My sister-in-law joined in. "I've never seen a family member so uncaring about their own. My daughter, you truly have bad luck." My brother also cursed at me. "You can't make money, so you're jealous your niece can." He slammed the table. The lunch my sister-in-law had just cooked spilled all over the floor. He fumed for a while, then ordered takeout. Our neighbor, Ava, arrived, temporarily stopping my niece's tirade. She strutted around the house, adorned in gold and silver. My niece's entire family's eyes lit up. She boasted that she would be engaged by the end of the year. Her fiancé was a very wealthy man she had met through her streaming channel. The next day, my niece followed her. Before leaving, she sneered, "Strangers are better than family." My sister-in-law, playing her card, demanded, "I'll forgive you this once. Get 30,000 to buy my daughter luggage. I'll consider everything before forgiven." I verbally agreed, saying I'd withdraw the money tomorrow. The moment my sister-in-law left, I told my parents to pack their bags. "My house is ready, we're moving to the city." 2 days after we moved, my sister-in-law showed up at my company, causing a scene. "She's the girl's aunt. The girl needs money now. What's wrong with her taking out her retirement fund? You useless brain, working for so many years and having no savings. Who are you to meddle in my family's affairs?" My sister-in-law's vulgar language attracted a crowd downstairs. Before I even left my office, I called the police. As she was being led away, my sister-in-law didn't forget to yell, "So, you won't give us money, will you? Fine, cut off ties. When my daughter gets rich, don't you dare expect a single penny." When I next saw my niece, she was on a live stream. She had a new phone, an LV handbag, and her hair was dyed blonde. After successfully being promoted to General Manager of Operations, many colleagues approached me about my niece and sister-in-law. Having cut off contact with them for a while, I only learned the latest from my colleagues. My niece had signed a contract with the infamous De Bala company. This company was notorious for stealing clients, broadcasting vulgar content, and encouraging streamers to meet fans offline for money. They stopped at nothing. My niece was their newly promoted star streamer. That day, I had just arrived home when I overheard my sister-in-law on the phone with my mother. Her boastful tone was undeniable. "Oh, my daughter has been working for less than a month and is already earning enough for a down payment on a house. Having such a brilliant child isn't always good. People get jealous. What's so great about people with high degrees? They just think they have high social status. Nowadays, making money is king. I heard her aunt even wants to pursue a master's degree." Don't bother, what's the point? If she wants to earn money later, she can come be my daughter's assistant. Even though her abilities are mediocre and she can't train any famous streamers, out of family regard, she could at least help with cleaning. My father was furious, about to curse my sister-in-law, but I stopped him before he could speak. "Fine then, when she becomes a top streamer, I'll be her free assistant." My sister-in-law sneered. "Exactly, it's always best to use family, no worries." One thing I didn't mention was that after De Bala company extracts all value from a streamer, they demand an astronomical breach of contract fee. This entire process never lasts more than a month, and my niece had been signed with them for exactly 25 days. Just then, a colleague called. "Boss, a De Bala streamer is provoking us. Should we report them?" My company was a leader in the industry, never violating regulations, while De Bala's streaming channels were full of vulgar content. Once reported, their channels would certainly be shut down. And De Bala typically placed this debt on the streamer, using it to force them into their dirty schemes, including but not limited to meeting wealthy men offline, paying hefty compensation, and so on. I decisively agreed. "Yes, just follow the procedure." When I entered the live stream, my heavily made-up niece was still screaming. "Who are you to challenge me? Your company's manager is my aunt. Some crazy woman with a few degrees thinks she's so high and mighty. You think going to college makes you amazing? Guys, vote for me quickly so they know. Nowadays, we laugh at the poor, not at those who hustle. If you make money, you're a big shot everywhere you go. Thank you, wealthy patron, for 10 sports cars. I'll dance sexily for you. Brothers, send 10 more. Later, I'll tell my aunt to come to the live stream and strip for everyone to see." The next second, the live stream channel displayed a warning and was then shut down. A split second before the screen went black, I saw a man's shadow flash by. It was De Bala's general manager of operations. He always devoured streamers whole. Our neighbor, Ava, had been scammed. I heard she cried at home every day. Her fiancé wasn't a wealthy man at all. He was a gambling addict and a swindler. Not only was the betrothal money borrowed online, but he also swindled all their family's savings. Worse still, Ava was pregnant with his child. Initially thinking she had landed a rich man, Ava had to pay exorbitant compensation to quit her job, and now she was saddled with even more debt. Her family, who had been boastful just a week ago, collapsed overnight and had to borrow money everywhere. When my sister-in-law called again to boast, my kind parents advised her to ensure my niece had a backup plan, but they were met with impatient taunts. "That Ava is just not smart. She doesn't even know how to pick a man." My niece looks down on her. With her looks, she could only hook some greasy, ordinary man. My daughter's circumstances are so much better. All the wealthy men she knows are exceptional. Don't compare her to trash like Ava. My sister-in-law took the opportunity to sarcastically tell me to stop doing sales. "You've been a manager for so many years and haven't even touched the edges of group streaming. Come be an assistant for a basic salary of $3,000. My daughter can't trust outsiders." My father was annoyed hearing this. "Is it trustworthy nowadays? I hear there are so many scams. Wasn't her live stream blocked yesterday?" My brother grew extremely impatient. All right, you two don't understand anything. Stop talking nonsense. My daughter is a famous streamer for De Bala. It's normal for envious people to report her. It'll be reopened in a while." My sister-in-law chimed in. "Oh my daughter earns over $200,000 a month. I wonder if that's someone's annual salary. So jealous that you even called your parents to advise us. Your eyes are probably bloodshot and about to bleed, aren't they?" My niece giggled. "Auntie, are you short on cash these days? How about coming to my livestream channel and doing a striptease? I already promised the wealthy patrons last time. We can split the money then, okay?" My mother was furious. "What nonsense are you talking about? If you're going to work, do it properly." My niece retorted, "So what if I'm not ashamed? It's better than being poor. Unlike you two, who struggled your whole lives and still live in a rented house." I couldn't listen anymore. "Brother, sister-in-law, do you have time to visit Mom and Dad?" They still didn't know about our move. My brother grew even more impatient. "All right, we'll visit when we have time. My daughter is very busy, no more talking." Since they moved out, they had never visited our parents, always claiming to be busy. If not for showing off their successful lives, I doubt they'd even bother to call. As for my niece, if she trusts De Bala Company so much, then let her continue to trust them. On the third day of my overseas business trip, I received a transatlantic call from my sister-in-law. My niece had been detained by De Bala. My sister-in-law's usual boastful tone was replaced by utter panic. This time, she didn't run away. The company arranged for her to meet a wealthy man. I was silent for a moment. "Then call the police immediately." My sister-in-law was exasperated. "It's useless. We don't even know where they took her." "Don't you know many high-level managers in these companies?" My brother threatened. "Is there any aunt like you? You work in this industry, yet you didn't warn us once. Isn't this just standing by and watching my daughter jump into a pit of fire? When they were making money, they didn't remember me. When they moved into their new house, they didn't remember me. But now they remember I'm her aunt." My voice was utterly calm. "Brother, sister-in-law," I said, "I'm just an employee. I have no say." With that, I hung up. My brother and sister-in-law, furious, immediately rushed to my house, intending to force me into submission. But we had moved long ago. The old house was empty. They searched everywhere, contacted my parents through relatives, only to learn I was on an overseas business trip. Distant water cannot quench a nearby fire. They worried for a while. The company eventually returned her, seemingly unharmed, but she appeared traumatized, suffering from severe schizophrenia, her condition fluctuating. When I visited her, my brother and sister-in-law's attitudes had completely changed. They cried and pleaded with me. Treating her illness requires a lot of money. From childhood, she was only close to you, you're her aunt. You can't just watch her stay in this dazed state. My mother couldn't bear it anymore. Didn't she earn quite a bit of money? You too can just use that for now. Her health is the most important thing. My sister-in-law began to lament. We earned a lot, but we spent a lot too. The live stream channel had no votes. We had to put in our own money. Her aunt was right. This truly is a path of no return. Behind us is an abyss. My brother, seeing my silence, resorted to emotional blackmail. This is your own flesh and blood. With her here, outsiders won't seize all your assets. Spending money to help her heal is what you should do. Don't make things ugly. I appeared reasonable. Do you still consider me family? My brother saw hope and continued. Yes, a family should share fortune and adversity. My sister-in-law's attitude softened. Hypocritically, she said, we were originally planning to invite you and your parents to live with us this month. I interrupted. If we are family and share adversity, then paying for her medical bills is certainly fine. But for all these years, your entire family has been living in my rented house. I have meticulously calculated every single debt. You too should pay me back. My brothers and sister-in-law's faces changed. A stack of bills. Turning to the last page, they saw the total was 1 million and exclaimed in unison, astonished, "That much? Are you trying to rob us?" I calmly stated. Over 10 years of rent, food, clothes bought for the three of you, and expenses for supporting my parents. I've recorded everything. My brother was so angry he couldn't breathe. You. My sister-in-law fumed. How can you be so petty? I returned their taunts in full. I apologize, but someone like me, who only works for others, is very good at keeping records. When I took my parents away, their faces were uglier than the blue tiles outside the door. My parents didn't dissuade my actions. In fact, after returning home, my mother remarked, "My daughter has truly grown up. Your older brother is thoughtless. I'm very happy you did this." My father specifically advised me, "Only by keeping your money can you keep your life. Don't be like your mother and me, spending all our money on our children our whole lives." Our son turned out to be a bottomless pit of filial impiety. I smiled and agreed. Over the years, under my watchful eye, they had also managed to save a small retirement fund, enough to improve their lives a little. I had thought my brother and sister-in-law had learned their lesson and would quietly treat my niece's illness. Unexpectedly, a few days later, they showed up at my doorstep, bringing a crowd of onlookers, former neighbors and relatives from the countryside. Early that morning, as I carried out the trash, I saw my sister-in-law wailing loudly at the apartment complex gate. This heartless sister-in-law, seeing my daughter seriously ill, she just took all her assets. She's truly leaving us no way to live. The summoned neighbors and relatives chimed in, pointing and gossiping, clearly enjoying the drama. I can't believe she's like that. And a college student too, so well-behaved as a child but grew up to be so ungrateful and disloyal. Hearing those words, everyone stopped, pointing at my apartment window. Someone even posted in the group chat, "Apartment 302 is truly too much. For money, they don't even care about a relative's life." I turned and went upstairs, returning with a large loudspeaker. Simultaneously, I called the security guards via the group chat. In front of numerous residents, I played recordings of my sister-in-law cursing me, my niece's taunts about streaming, vicious curses against our neighbor Ava, all their excuses over the years whenever it was time to split rent, and last night's emotional blackmail attempt. My sister-in-law, utterly enraged, yelled, "You venomous, sharp-tongued witch. I came to help you, and you badmouth me behind my back. You despicable woman, how dare you curse my niece? What do you think your daughter is?" My sister-in-law, disheveled and frantic, ended up in a brawl with Mrs. Peterson. After hearing the recording, the neighbors in the complex grumbled, cursed, and drove the crowd away. My work became increasingly busy, and I often left very late these days. 2 months later, I heard the latest updates on my sister-in-law and niece. My niece's condition had improved somewhat, but my sister-in-law's mental state was very unstable. I heard she was asking around everywhere, wondering where I got my money from, if I had won the lottery, and even subtly questioning my parents about any ancestral inheritance. Ultimately, she couldn't believe I could earn so much money just by working and even buy my own house. I had anticipated this. I deliberately spread false rumors that our ancestors had left behind an inheritance of gold bars. As expected, my greedy sister-in-law's family sneaked to the old house in the middle of the night. But after I returned the house, the landlord had changed the locks. They couldn't get in. My sister-in-law, however, brazenly pried open the locks, ransacking the entire old house. Unbeknownst to them, the landlord had installed cameras and called the police, leading to the arrest of all three of them. My sister-in-law immediately started slandering me, claiming I had incited them. But the police didn't believe her and took them to the station for thorough interrogation. All three were charged with theft. I heard they threw a tantrum at the police station gate. Realizing it was futile, they frantically blamed each other. My brother criticized his wife and daughter for disgracing him, calling them brainless and vain, dragging him down with them. My sister-in-law accused my brother of being irresponsible, claiming he never shared any burden over the years, and she alone had to raise their child. My niece was even more resentful, screaming, "How could I have parents like this?" Not only did they not urge me to study hard, but they encouraged me to become a streamer at a small, disreputable company. If I made money, I was their precious daughter, but if I didn't, I was worthless and unwanted. If they had been responsible like Auntie, why would I be in this state? The landlord sent me all the on-site videos, but I only watched them for entertainment. I didn't believe a word they said. My former self, who was willing to help them, met a tragic end. One cannot, and should not, stumble twice over the same mistake. My brother and sister-in-law were sentenced to 10 years. My niece, due to her temporary mental illness, had her sentence postponed and was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. My parents and I visited them once. My brother spoke to me about sibling bonds. "Sister, we are truly family." My sister-in-law's eyes welled with tears. "Auntie," she said, "I should have listened to you from the beginning. I'm uneducated, please don't hold it against me." Though my parents saw my brother like this, they only wiped their tears and didn't plead for his release. As we were leaving, I asked my mother why. She just sighed, "Everyone has their own destiny." Indeed, even with family, one must let go of the urge to help others and respect their fate. It's hard to tell what lies beneath the facade of a relative, a human or a devil. The psychiatric hospital called with news, "Your niece has escaped and is missing." A few days later, she appeared at my apartment complex. While I was parking my car in the garage, she ambushed me. She was filthy, her cheeks sunken from malnutrition, and her once golden hair was now a messy, uneven chop as if chewed by a dog, utterly repulsive. She clung to my car door, desperately pleading, "Auntie, please save me. You've saved me so many times before. Please save me just one more time." I know I was wrong. I'll listen to you from now on. I'll study hard. I won't be a streamer anymore. Can we start over? Just one more chance. I'll go to school. I'll do well in college, and then I'll pursue a master's degree. Isn't that what you always wanted for me? Can we start over, beginning from the day I received my acceptance letter? Seeing her frantic state, I finally realized that my niece had also been reincarnated. No wonder this time she had been so determined to become a streamer and cling to wealthy men. My niece was still outside my car, screaming herself hoarse. "You can't abandon me. You sacrificed everything for me before. I'm your biological niece. If you don't have children, outsiders will seize all your assets later. The money you earned rightfully belongs partly to me. If you want me to take care of you in your old age, you have to take care of me now. You have to find me a job. You're the most capable person. You found me a job before, and you can certainly do it now." I looked at my niece coldly, seeing that even in her deranged state, she still viewed me as a disposable resource. After I made a call, security arrived swiftly, moving with urgency to escort my niece out of the apartment complex. A few days later, my niece, having borrowed a phone from who knows where, called me again. "Auntie, I'm standing on the overpass right now. If you don't come get me, I'll jump immediately." Hearing this level of threat, my heart remained utterly unperturbed. Suit yourself. Your life is yours to decide. I owe you nothing. With that, I hung up. After changing my phone number, I didn't hear any news about my niece's family for a long time. A few years later, I was promoted again, becoming the general manager of the Overseas Operations Department. I heard my brother and sister-in-law were released from prison early due to good behavior. The first thing they did after getting out was divorce, even getting into a fight at the Civil Affairs Bureau's entrance. My niece was with Ava, and I heard they had found a new way to make money. My mother only relayed these tidbits to me. After cutting ties, their family's affairs had truly become distant from ours. I packed my luggage again. This promotion meant I would be moving to work in the overseas department. Incidentally, I also applied for further education. I had been accepted into that country's master's program. My parents had also completed their visas, planning to live there for a while, travel around, and no longer bear the burden of my brother. Over the years, they had saved a considerable amount of money. At the airport, under the brilliant golden sun, parents were accompanying their children on trips. Listening to their conversations, I suddenly realized. Another summer had arrived the day college entrance exam results were released. A mother asked her daughter, "Didn't your friend want to come with you? Why did she suddenly say no?" The girl replied, "She's become a streamer. It's really popular these days. I hear she's earning a lot of money." The mother wondered, "Group streaming? Do you want to go?" The girl shook her head. "Group streaming has many scams. Our high school teachers already warned us. Plus, I don't have that talent. I still prefer traveling. Look, Mom, this place is so beautiful. It was influenced by a famous Greek philosopher over 300 years ago." Listening to the girl's passionate talk, I averted my gaze. Studying might not change one's current life, but at least it can determine what kind of person you are mentally, and holding on to your boundaries is how you avoid losing yourself.